Hello, welcome back to the Delisha Rapal podcast, and I am Delisha. I'm back with another episode from Reddit. Today, we're gonna be learning from the story of this lady asking if she is wrong for not attending the wedding of her cousin and her ex-boyfriend. So this is what we're going to be learning about today. But before I get into the story, could you please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you never miss any episode that I'll be posting in the future. So as always, you should be knowing by now, we're going to read together. Okay, it's a long story. Yeah, so let's get into it. Am I the A for not attending the wedding of my cousin and my ex-boyfriend? I, 32 female, was engaged to marry Travis, 33 male. But a couple of weeks before the wedding was supposed to take place, he said that he didn't want to get married. I asked him if he was cheating and he said no. He told me that most of his friends were already married or staying with families, so he thought it was time to settle down, but he had just realized that he didn't want to do it. Suffice to say, the wedding was cancelled, and that was the end of our relationship. It's been about a year since that happened. Things haven't been exactly great, but I've managed well. Some days ago, I received an invitation to the wedding of my cousin Taylor, 26, female. Imagine my surprise when I read it and saw that my ex-fiance was the groom. I had only seen them barely interact during family meetings. I had not noticed any clue that pointed to anything happening between the two of them all this time. Some info about my cousin. She's what some people would call a free spirit. She doesn't have a conventional job rather. She works as an artist. She dyes her hair in unusual colors, sometimes blue, sometimes green, for example, and dresses extravagantly. Once she wore a white robe, another time she wore a black leather jacket and spiked boots. She says that she doesn't like following society rules and that she only follows her own codes. Immediately, I called my parents. I asked them if they had known something about Taylor's relationship with Travis. To summarize, yes, they did. They had not intended on telling me because they figured out there would be no positive outcome to it. Hmm. But they also made it clear that they expected me to come to the wedding anyway in order to show support to my family. Wow. At this point, I lost it and shouted that they were delusional if they believed that I will go to the wedding of my cheating liar ex and his maniac pixie dream girl. They said that I can't keep holding on to my hatred and resentment forever and that I need to let go, but I hang up. My extended family has been blowing up my phone since then, saying that I'm a bad person if I don't attend. Right now, I feel so confused, betrayed, and disappointed. I'm no longer sure if I'm being irrational or not. So I think it might be best to ask for an outside point of view. Am I the A? Okay. So that's the story. This is very crazy. I'm not gonna lie. This is very crazy. And in South Africa, there was this show. I think it was called I'm With Your Ex. So people go there to tell maybe their friend or their sister, to tell their brother, to tell them, you know what, I'm with your ex. It's like me, I do have a sister. It's like me, I go onto that show. Maybe I'm dating my sister's ex. So I go to that show, I bring her there, and then I tell her that I'm actually dating your ex. Mm, it does happen. It has happened. It's happening. So I've seen this, honestly, and this is very crazy. And it always come to a point where I ask myself, like, really, do you really expect them to be fine with this whole situation? I know there's some unwritten rules rather, to some relationships, to some things that we do on a daily, and this should be one of them. Imagine dating your sister's ex or your brother's ex, maybe even your cousin. Isn't that not crazy? I think it's crazy because once we cut ties, I don't think I still want to see that person or anyone around them. But also, which is very different or um, contradicting. I remember this one scenario where it was like she's a friend of the guy who's close to me, and I mean she's a girlfriend of the guy who's close to me. And once the relationship is over, me and the lady we were like good. So I didn't see anything wrong with wanting to see it. So I guess from my side it was okay. But if she didn't want to see me ever again, I'm up to respect that. Of which today we don't have a relationship anyway. So I guess that was it. I respected that, even though she didn't tell me straight up, like, you know what, I want nothing to do with you because I am done with that guy, you know. This is very crazy. Let me read you some of the comments down here because people always have something to say. And another thing, I think, before I dive into the comment section, I think the family is kind of wrong to tell her that, you know, you need to let go. Like, what? No, they don't have to tell her such a thing. I think it should come from herself, that whether she wants to go to the wedding or not, because she's the same person who still need to do the healing, finding closure, all that stuff. Maybe they don't care about her because they knew about this whole thing, but they didn't tell her. Why? They are not being sensitive, honestly. They don't care about the emotions or feelings. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing something, which you can highlight it for me in the comment section. Let me read this comment. You are not the A. Your family is being ridiculous. They should have told you that your ex-fiance was involved with your cousin, especially when they got engaged, and they are out of line expecting you to show up and smile because family. Yeah. Family goes both ways. You are family too, and they should have told you what was happening. I do agree with that. I do agree. The fact that they didn't tell you about the relationship, the engagement, why is it of important now they're telling you about the wedding? Like, you might just as well keep it to yourselves. I don't want to know. I'll make it clear that you are not holding on to anger and resentment. You've moved on and would have wanted to be married to a guy who will do that anyway, whether you feel that way or not, or are still angry or not. Don't let them paint you that way. But you won't be attending the wedding, and it's inappropriate for anyone to ask you to do so. I do agree. How would they ask you such a question? Like, I think they were not even asking her. They were telling her that you expected you have to attend the wedding because it's family. You have to show support. Like, what support? Are you really supporting me now when you're telling me this? Because no, you're not supporting at all. No, this is not support at all. And I think this family thing is one way. It's very picky, very very much picky. And then you guys will date in the same family. What's up with you all? Hmm? What's up? Skip honey. Like, what's happening with you? Stop it. It's not fun at all. This one says, I'm willing to bet that OP's family knew that she'll be upset, rightfully so, but thought that if Taylor and Travis broke up, then OP would be none the wiser. And they wouldn't have to deal with the unpleasantness of the situation. Now that they are getting married and OP knows, they can fall back on calling her jealous and bitter. Oh my god, imagine. rather than take responsibility for not telling her the truth. They waited until it reached a point where she had to find out. Exactly, you see, they didn't tell her about them dating. They didn't tell her about them getting engaged. Like, then why are you inviting me to the last point of this whole thing? I wasn't there when it started. Nah, no, guys, no, no. Mm-mm, mm-mm. So let me reread that. They waited until it reached a point where she had to find out, and now they're trying to pretend that everything is fine in order to feel better about themselves. Ooh, they are gaslighting you. Mhm. Also, this way they can play happy family and not have to deal with the fact that they are part of the reason OP's head. It's easier to put the blame on the victim rather than confront their own role in the situation. OP is clearly not the A. At the very least, I will be questioning if Travis left OP for Taylor and the whole family just rag swept until their relationship became too serious for OP to confront them about it. Hmm. You know, back in the days, there was this guy who once asked me for an advice. Imagine advice back then, years back. He was asking me that will I be wrong if I dated my friends? I think that time the oh, I think that time the lady was still in a relationship with the guy's friend. But this friend who was asking me, he liked the lady and the lady happened to like him back. So he was asking me, will I be wrong to go ahead with her? And I was like, why would you do that? And he was like, he was like, you never know that your soulmate could be with someone close to you, or maybe that person who was close to you could be the one who bring your soulmate, who bring a soulmate in your life. Like, imagine, I was like, oh, I didn't know. But yet again, what is wrong with this flight? But I was like, but that's crazy. Like, I'm just till this day asking myself and trying to imagine myself in that kind of situation. That's crazy. That's very crazy if you asked me. Or maybe if it had to happen, because life has stages and phases, what you agreed with 5 years ago, probably you are not agreeing with it today. So things do change. So, but I know personally, I don't see myself doing that to a friend or a sister of mine. Like, no, no. And another thing that I've learned when I was in uni is that I think it's best not to befriend someone whom has the same type of, like, when it comes what is that? When it comes to dating, your friend and you should not date the same type of people. Like, you should not have the same taste in dating. I hope that makes sense. Because if you have the same type of people you date, you have a high chance of inter dating. Like, you date your friend's girlfriend or your friend's boyfriend, which is very dangerous. So uh, I think it's best that way, because you can't be sitting around hiding your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Imagine you hiding them away from your friend. Last one. I wonder if some family members knew OP's fiance was up to something with the cousin before the wedding plans blew up and didn't want to tell OP. Then the fiance start dating the cousin right away, and then the family members are worried if they tell OP about the new relationship, they might get asked if they knew anything was up before and be forced to answer uncomfortable questions about their suspicions they kept from OP. Maybe there was even pretty dear evidence of cheating that they didn't tell OP about. And so, realizing their screw up by failing to tell OP as soon as they suspected something was up, they did what a lot of people do when they screw up and try to hide it from OP. Fast forward a year, and now with him marrying the cousin, it can't be hidden anymore. But they also don't want to answer questions about who knew what when. So the message to OP is she needs to suck it up for the family. I am guessing about some of the family knowing about the cheating and hiding the relationship, but it certainly fits the behavior of people so selfish they expect OP to just suck it and pretend to be a big happy family rather, after dropping the bomb about the new wedding on her. And simple, they don't care about her. They might be screaming, preaching family, but I guess she's not part of that family. No, they don't love it at all. I no, 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 no. Okay, we have this one. You know, I always say last one, last one. You know me, you should be getting used to this by now. This one says apparently a certified pro- proctologist. Oh, I thought it was a psychologist. I'm fascinated they want her to come to the wedding. I'm picturing her there, and someone asked how she knows the couple. I was the groom's fiance that he cheated on with the bride. Hi, nice to meet you. Imagine. But yeah, like I said, she is not family. How could they do this to her? And also, I see a lot of highlights that the family didn't tell it. Okay, before we get to family, I also think that it was the guy's responsibility to tell her, even the cousin's responsibility to tell her. But since they didn't see the use of telling her, I still don't get it why they invited her. Like they are throwing all that onto her face, like have it. Why? No, it's just a no. It's like they want to hurt her, like the couple and the family. It's like they want to hurt her, which is wild. Why would you want to do that to another person? Anyway, let me leave it that. Can you please comment what you think about people who date your ex? Oh, interesting. Have you ever dated your friend's ex or your sister's ex or your brother's ex or your cousin's ex? Because I love to hear that story, how it went down and how you felt, how how it went about, like what happened in that whole thing. And also with regard to this one, what do you think about this kind of situations, this kind of relationships? With that being said, please do like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you never miss any episode. And also do share with others. Do not gatekeep, because we're not here to gossip, we are here to learn. So please do share with other people. Otherwise, let me love and leave you.